Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be her curiosity and interest soared. Well, I've got a success story here from a guy who is one of the typical recovering nice guys. Basically, in the past and all of his interactions with women, he basically said he turned into a jellyfish, if you will, every time he got around a woman he really liked. Even one of them said that she needed to borrow some money, and he gave it to her, and then when it came time to pay him back, obviously she had some bullshit excuse as to why he couldn't or she couldn't do that. And so he's been following my work for a while, and he's dating this really great girl. And so he shares a success story of how he used to be, and obviously how easy and effortless things are going now with his new girl, now that he's applying the things that I learned, which are very counterintuitive. And he's even had difficulty at times doing these things because his natural tendencies wanted him to go back to the old way that he was, but he exercised emotional self-control, and things are going great, and she compliments him a lot on the way he shows up as well. So if you're one of those guys that has always had a problem never getting past the first or the second or the third date, and you're kind of a recovering nice guy, this should inspire you, hopefully, to change the way you're going about things. So I have a quote that I wrote, and then we're going to go through his email. And a quote says, "No matter what women say or think they really want, the reality is women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear and guys who are mysterious, confident, strong, and unpredictable. Men who are too nice, compliant, available, who don't stand up for themselves, and who wait on women to tell them what to do, predictably get rejected or the 'let's just be friends' speech. Women test men to determine whether or not they have a spine, will stand up to them and for themselves, and to test their strength and worthiness. Women lose respect and attraction for men who let women jerk them around. Being too nice reveals that deep down, you don't think you are worthy of a woman's time, desires, or attention. This gives women no choice but to agree with you that you are not worthy." Definitely some food for thought. So with that in mind, let's go through his email. He says, "Hi Corey, my name is Bob, and I'm a 35-year-old single guy from California. I don't need a response from you. I just wanted to tell you about the immediate success I've had and experience from applying your teachings, and I wanted to express my gratitude." Notice how he said immediate. Because if you really start applying the stuff you're learning from me immediately today, you're going to see some results. He says, "I found your material on YouTube and I bought your ebook, which I've read twice so far, and I'm currently on read number 3. The catalyst for seeking you out was lousy dating results. I didn't have trouble finding dates, but if I really liked the girl, I would turn into a spineless jellyfish. I was trying so hard to be sweet and kind that I was either rejected or walked all over. I was so much of a weakling that I even had a long-distance girlfriend hitting me up for money, and I gave it to her. Oof. That's how weak I had become. I wired her the cash, and big surprise, she made up some big story about how she couldn't pay me back." It's amazing. It's like some women, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And some women have no problem. They figure, hey, well, you know what? If he's not going to stand up for himself or he's willing to do it, he deserves what he gets. And at the end of the day, guys that do things like this, they're inviting the other person to do it to them. They're enabling their behavior. It's like they do it thinking, well, if I'm just extra nice, because that's what I see in all the movies and TV shows, they tell me that I can be nice and express my feelings and just be strong and stick around, and eventually she'll give me a shot. Obviously, you never see James Bond doing something like that. He says, "I was trying to be the nice guy, trying to friend my way into her heart, and getting walked all over, typical 97% behavior. So here's the upside to things. I met this new gal that is just really stellar. I mean, at the end of the day, I want you to have somebody that knocks your socks off. I want you to have somebody that you love hanging out with, that you're in love with, and who's in love with you. Because relationships in life is hard enough. There's absolutely no fucking reason for you to settle, because you're not going to be happy with that person anyways, and they're not going to be happy with you. And you'll just end up making each other miserable, and you'll both together get yourselves into an early grave. He says, I met her within days of finishing the first read of your book, and it has been such a great experience for both of us. She does all the contacting. She says hello to me by text, and I respond by asking when she's free to get together, and it just rolls from there. Well, the idea is you don't want to say, when are you free to get together? When are you free to get together? When are you free to get together? Like a robot. The idea is change it up a little bit. Hey, I want to see you. When are you available? What's your schedule like this week? I've seen guys doing that before, and they just literally, like a robot, they say the same thing over and over again. After a while, the girl starts to go, you always say the same things to me. It either happens like that, or she texts me with a specific day and time to get together. It was upsetting at first to take a backseat approach, as I was so accustomed to heavily pursuing, but this shit works. Less really is more. I mean, it's a scientific fact that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. You have to give them space. And just like I teach in the book, you don't really only have to initiate or pursue, if you will, for the first 2 to 3 dates. And once the woman starts reaching out, I mean, that's pretty much it. The guy's pursuit is over. He can just hang back, wait to hear from her, and when he does, make the next date. He says, last night we were together, and it was date 5, I guess. She started opening up to me a little about her experience with me and how it made her feel. Feel being the important thing. It took every ounce of self-control for me not to bust out laughing from amusement. Because obviously he knew what was coming next. He knew what she was going to say, because I say that's what's going to happen in my book. She told me how after our first 2 dates, when I didn't contact her right away, like every other guy does, she wasn't sure where my head was. Remember? It's a scientific fact that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. They like it. Some women will say they don't like it, and you're playing games, you're this, you're that. What if you're busy? What if you're the type of guy, you're a busy professional, and you might have 1 day a week that you're available? You're not going to have time to sit there and fucking chit-chat and send bullshit, boring, nonsensical texts back and forth all day long. You're going to be busy. Changing the world, changing lives, whatever it is that you do for a living, building your empire, if you will. Your time is limited. You don't have any of it to waste. And therefore, if you are going to make your only available night available for a particular girl, you want somebody that really is excited to spend time with you. And obviously she is. And notice, it's like he's away from her, he's not doing anything. Just the very fact that she's expecting him to call and he doesn't. She's not mad at him for it. But the fact that she doesn't know if he likes her or not, if he's going to call again or if he's not, it had a positive effect on her attraction level. And I learned that because I had a girlfriend, one of the ones I wrote about in my book. She taught me this. Her mother taught me this as well. They both sat me down individually and explained this to me. And I was like, it was life-changing. He says a couple of days passed and it drove her nuts, so she contacted me. And that's another reason why you only go out with a girl once a week. If you only call her once per week and go out on 1 date, if she really likes you and it really bothers her and she really would like to see you again, she's going to come up with an excuse or a reason to contact you. She's not going to ask you out, but she's just going to get in touch. Usually something along the lines of, hey, I was thinking about you, or I saw a movie, or something funny happened the other day, or a friend gave me a magazine and the picture of this model that was in there looked like you, reminded me of you, or something we were talking about and I had to reach out to you. How's your day going? But really what's going on is she's, without saying it, she's saying, where do I stand with you? It's driving me up a wall, but I like it. I'm really liking you more than when I last saw you. Hopefully you want to see me again. She's not going to tell you this, but that's what's really going on inside. And that's why you just say, hey, I'd love to see you again. When are you free to get together? But since she contacted me after 8 p.m., I waited until the next day to get back to her. I guess this drove her up the wall, not hearing from me right away. Her curiosity and interest level soared. Again, women, the higher a woman's attraction level for you grows, or goes, if you will, the more of your time and attention she wants. When she's in love, women want your attention all the fucking time. It's part of feminine energy. Feminine energy is about opening up, bonding, receiving, connecting, relationships. That's why they reach out. They're compelled to. It's their nature. And if you don't like that nature, talk to the big man upstairs. I had nothing to do with it. I'm just here to decipher it for you so you can win and get what you want. She went on to tell me that she really likes that we are not in contact every day. She likes that we're not in contact every day. The only kind of women that would bother that you're not in contact every day is insecure, needy women that are jacked up. Another reason why you only start out going out on 1 date per week. You want to see how the woman reacts. Because there's a lot of insecure, fucked up women out there as well that'll make your life a living hell, and you want to avoid those. So this girl sounds like she's got a healthy self-esteem. It has a positive effect on her attraction level, but she doesn't get pissed off about it. She likes it. That's how women with a healthy self-esteem will be. And then that way, you know that she's worth your time and not some kind of fucking Fruit Loop. But if you're always chasing, you're always pursuing, you're always trying to force things, you never get to experience that other side of it. She says it gives us more to talk about when we do see each other. Another reason why the phone is for setting dates. You do have stuff to talk about on your dates because you haven't been talking about anything and everything all day long, 24/7. It's as though she read your book or something, haha. No, she's just acting like women normal healthy women normally instinctually act this way. They're designed that way. It's just the way the feminine energy is. So after all that, she told me how sweet and kind I am, how I'm so macho and manly, and that, remember, this is the guy who was the spineless jellyfish. She perceives him as being so macho and so manly. It's that indifference. And that she's totally comfortable with me. I take this to mean that I'm remaining in my masculine, and this in turn allows her to stay in her feminine, and she digs it. Yep, good job, dude. Thank you, Corey. Your teachings have made the dating process so much more enjoyable for both Jessica and me. I've not felt this way before because I was always so worried about pleasing the woman in my life that I became a neurotic mess, constantly trying to seek out approval and make her happy. I'm now behaving in a way that I seek out what I want, and the crazy thing is, she digs it. I will continue reading your book for the prescribed 10 to 15 times because the last thing I want to do is get caught up in my own ways. Keep up the great work. Well, as long as you read it the 10 to 15 times, you will be fine. Guys that are in your situation, where I see a lot of guys go wrong, they read the book once or twice, they get the girl, they're hooking up, they're 5, 6, 7 dates in. They're thinking, I don't need to read this thing. Everything's so easy. Then when it comes to relationship, comes to communicating, they don't learn any of that stuff because they don't think it's important. They don't. It's like I don't need to listen to that fucking shaved head dude. And then they're like, oh, Corey, I need help. I need an emergency. Please, please, can you drop what you're doing and do a phone session today? Hey, man, get in line. Lack of poor planning on your part does not constitute a crisis on mine. But if you would like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.